question for you.
How did I get over my husband, Abraham Lincoln passing?
How do morticians not want to chug the embalming fluid?
Now, what happened? What'd you do to me, sir?
I stabbed him.
Hey, what's everybody having for lunch? I've got a turkey and cheese sandwich.
Are you an anxious lesbian?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Slop Nation. Good morning, Slop Nation, and welcome to Slop Chop. This is a new comedy podcast hosted by me, Harvey Mulvihill. It is about the happenings of the internet, and it is also your one-stop shop for slop. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 12. I don't know why I feel the need to number the episodes in front at the top of everyone, but you know I do. And some feelings just can't be suppressed, you know? So this is episode 12, and very happy you've all joined me on this lovely morning, evening, noon, or night. I want to discuss, or first remind you all to skip the topics you don't care about. There's always topics in the description, or time codes in the description, and if you do not care about one of the topics I'm discussing on this very podcast, you can skip it, and I encourage you to do so, because I'll be talking about some dumbass shit. I spent most of my waking hours this week editing clips for this pod. This week, I think I'm going to post a new clip every single day, or at least for the 5 weekdays. So that's exciting, you know? And what's really exciting is spending an hour on a 60-second clip and then posting it and getting no views and then considering suicide. Just kidding. But no, it's like it's a grind. It's a battle, and that's all there is to it, right? There is nothing to do but to do it. You just have to get better at doing the thing. I forgot to turn my fan down in just a moment. Why am I dressed this way? Because I'm at work right now. I'm working. This is my job. Yeah, I work for about 90 minutes once a week, talking into a microphone about slop. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I wanted to start with a fun little slopic. This is the first full episode of the Adam Friedland Show I've listened to in quite some time. Anthony Fantano was a guest on the Adam Friedland Show. If you are unfamiliar with either of these cultural giants, Fantano, arguably the most successful. So there's, okay, hold on. We need to discuss this. This is actually a point of contention in my brain. I'm not sure whether or not to give you people, Slop Nation, give the sloppers an overview of the people I'm talking about, or should I just expect you to know who these people are? Because like every once in a while I'll tune in to the H3 podcast, which is vaguely in the news this week as well. Man, they are going through it right now over there at the H3 podcast. But sometimes I'll click on and watch a little bit, and they'll just be kind of assuming that their audience knows the people that they're discussing, and I almost never do, because they talk about some, like, I mean, I have a slop podcast, but they, it's they're the figures they cover, the drama they cover is remarkably tepid. Not my jam. So this is, the point of this is to do what they do, but remove the boring stuff and only do stuff that I think is interesting. But that's very selective. And really the point of doing this is just to do it, because I've always wanted to do it. And I think, I have a keen eye for slop, and I can make it entertaining, allegedly, or funny, allegedly. Right? Hopefully, right? But anyway, so I'm unsure whether or not to introduce the people on this here podcast that I'm discussing, or should I just launch into the thing as if you know them, right? Which one to do? This time, I will briefly introduce them, and if it feels good coming out of my mouth, perhaps I'll continue to do that, and if not, I'll stop. Anthony Fantano is a very famous music reviewer on YouTube. Adam Friedland used to be on Come Town. He's a New York comedian. Now he has his own show. Co-created by him and Nick Mullen. Nick Mullen is no longer a part of it. Nick Mullen is one of the funniest humans on the planet. Adam Friedland is not. So there's an interesting sort of metatextual element to the Adam Friedland show, which is that it's ironically funny. It's kind of like alt comedy, where the fact that he's doing it is kind of the joke. You know what I mean? Like he's the least he's the least I don't know, it sounds mean, but he's objectively the least funny. He's the least, like, you know, well-liked of the three on Come Town. And it's funny to give him his own show. It's funny to just call it the Adam Friedland Show and make him the face of it, of the new podcast, right? It's funny to have like an actual talk show with guests, and it's hosted by fucking Adam Friedland. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's funny that Eric Andre gets crazy guests, but Eric Andre actually does comedy. Eric Andre is just genuinely funny. Adam Friedland is ironically funny, metatextually funny. Like you have to put a word in front of the word, you know, which I've never been a fan of that kind of humor. If it's interesting what you're doing at its core, then I'm fine with it. It's like it's an added fun little element, kind of like the rehearsal with Nathan Fielder. Like it's fascinating what you're doing, and it's also funny that you're doing it. You know what I mean? But I think the Adam Friedland Show is it's just funny that he's doing it, with a couple of exceptions. Like he had like a handful, 2 or 3 good lines in this Fantano interview, but for the most part, it was fucking insufferable. It was so annoying. Fantano could not get a word in. When Anthony Fantano comes off as the less annoying of the two people, I don't think Fantano's annoying, but he does have that reputation because he's a critic, right? But dude, I mean, but again, it's like funny. You have to be like ironic, like yeah, ha ha ha. He doesn't let his guests get a word in. That's funny, but it's also annoying, right? And both things can be true. You can ironically parade him as the next the left-leaning Joe Rogan or whatever the Variety article thing was. But there's not a whole lot of merit to the actual meat of the thing, in my opinion. Which is shitty to say. It's mean. I don't love being mean on this podcast. I like, especially comedians. I generally one to lift instead of shit on. Oh man, I have a story about that. So, I was at a comedy show for it was a live show for Lemon Party, who are awesome. They're Tim Dillon's old producer, Ben Avery, his brother, and this guy Devin Costa, who are all three absolutely hilarious dudes. But I went on their first. They started the podcast. They just did like episode 120, so they're a couple years old now. But I went on their first live show tour. They came to Texas, and I went to their show in Austin and Dallas. I went to both. I groupied for Lemon Party. And I met a guy. It was the weirdest, one of those like bizarre synchronicity things. I got to talking with this fella who's sitting there. We were randomly sitting next to each other. Both showed up alone. And I was like, yeah, you know, I generally I like the month of October, so it's my birthday's in October, so that's, you know. He's like, oh, cool. What? Me too. What day is your birthday? Oh, 17th. Me too. Oh shit. What year were you born? How old are you? Oh my God, we have the exact same birthday. Yeah. So we were literally born on the same exact day, which is pretty wild. He was born in Houston and I was born in Dallas. And then the dude in front of us was fucking hearing us talk, and he's like, what day was that? Yeah. He's like, what day was that? 3 total strangers. And the guy turns around, October 7th, that's my birthday, too. He was not, the third guy was not born in 94 like the two of us were, but still 3 October 17ths just randomly sat at the same table, 2 of which were the exact same calendar day, 1994. That shit was wild. But anyway, I brought that up because I got to talking with this motherfucker who has my exact birthday. I was like, damn, maybe this is like some synchronicity shit. Maybe we should fall in love? Be together forever? That didn't turn out to be the case. But what did turn out to be the case was that he's a big comedy fan just like I am. But he was really into the, for lack of a better word, teardown content. There's these guys, Red Bar on YouTube, whose whole thing is like shitting on comedians. There's I'm certain there's other ones that I'm missing, but it's very popular content. People like it a lot. Like, look at how much Bert Kreischer is annoying. Here's a compilation of him being annoying, and then it's like a just shitty voiceover of the guy going, "God, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. This guy sucks," and that's the content, right? Because I was like, yeah, dude, I love comedy, obviously, and I love YouTube, and I watch a lot of comedy adjacent media on my YouTube, right? And he's like, oh, me too. I love Red Bar. I was like, oh. I don't care for him at all. As a matter of fact, I kind of hate that guy. I think he's a piece of shit and very annoying. And he's like a scavenging, what's that thing? Hawk? Not hawk, but the other one. The ones that eat he's one of those. And Buzzer. He's a fucking scavenging mosquito buzzer who feeds off people with genuine talent. And here's the thing though, is I'm not above, I really like criticism. I love film criticism. I love music criticism. And I could potentially like comedy criticism, although I'm trying to think if there's anything that I have consumed that I've enjoyed in that arena. I don't think so. I think comedy is a different sort of animal where it's inherently cringe to poke holes into it, It's either good or it isn't. But I got to talking with this motherfucker, and I was like, yeah, dude, I can't stand that guy. But maybe, send me some of his videos, or that you like, and I'll see if I can stomach it. I watched them both with an open mind, and I just, shortly thereafter messaged back to him like, listen, brother, I got to tell you, I didn't like either of those videos that you sent me at all. I thought they were awful. I just don't like, I just think shitting on people, generally speaking, if that's your whole bread and butter is just shitting on people, it just doesn't sit right with me, bruh. And I'm all for some good-natured shit talking, or good-natured meaning if they deserve it. And I will be the arbiter of that. I will be the one who makes that distinction. Right? I have the power. If I say that people are bad and annoying, then they are. But if other people do it, no, I don't know. I just don't really consume a whole lot of that content. Especially if it's a comedian is just a person or a YouTuber. Like, look at how much this person sucks. It's just weird to me. Shitting on a bad movie is fun, but that feels different somehow. Anyway, all this to say that there are different types of comedy enjoyers, and that guy who was born on the exact same day as me is another comedy enjoyer. He just enjoys things differently. He likes hearing people shit on comedians, which I do not. Anyway, all this to say, I'm not a huge fan of shitting on comedians. However, Adam Friedland is annoying. I am happy for his success, I guess, but I find him irritating, and I always have. I think that he is just the weak link on Come Town. Of course, that's not a strong, crazy opinion. What was fun, I saw some clips with Sarah Jessica Parker, his last interview, and so one of his friends, he was like a, you're really famous, and so I had some of my friends who love you send me voice memos that I would play for you, if that's cool. And he played a voice memo from one of his friends who was like, do you even know, like, did your managers even tell you who this is? Do you have any idea who this person is at all? Like, his whole career is built on people making fun of him. That's funny. But yeah, okay, so like you can he's taking the piss, he's aware of it. So there is, it's not like, I don't know. It just seems alt to me. It's like alt comedy where it's like theoretically funny on paper. You know what I mean? Like how that would be interesting. Like one of his very first guests was that short freak who screamed at the trumpet player. You've probably seen the video. I'll put it here.
Who the hell do you think you are? You any kind of artist? Anybody know who you are? Maybe everybody else wants to enjoy the peace and quiet. This is one of the most important places in all of North America. Who are you? Who are you? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. You're no artist. An artist respects the silence that serves as the foundation of creativity. You obviously don't have the talent. You don't have enough respect for yourself or other people, or what it is to express yourself. In music, or any other form of creativity. And I'm an NYU film school graduate, sucker!
And he's like, yeah, okay, theoretically that's funny to have that guy as a guest, but then you watch the episode and there's zero humor to be had. Like, it's funny on paper to get that guy and then interview him. But then in practice, you're like, this is pretty miserable. This guy sucks. The short freak, not Adam Friedland. Adam is fine. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of alt, that like alt style of, haha, aren't we being clever? Right? Every time I watch an alt comedian, try to give you an example for those who don't know exactly what I'm talking about here. But she'd do these long, drawn out bits where the joke is that isn't this long and drawn out? You know, that's kind of the vibe. And I can already hear you fuckers thinking, well, doesn't Norm Macdonald do that? Yeah, but Norm is, why is it different? He's just better at it. He's just better at doing it. And he sprinkles some funny along with you. I don't know. Somehow it's endearing when he does it, and it's annoying when other people do. I don't have a good answer for that, TBH. But Fantano was on the Adam Friedland show. He had a couple of... Adam had a couple of decent jokes. The funniest one, which I'm not even sure was intentional, was after 45 to 50 minutes, he goes, so, you're a music critic? That's funny. But I'm not. He blew right past it so fast that I'm not even sure if that was intentional. But he did have a couple of good jokes. I'm not saying that he is. He's a whatever. He's a comedian. He can be funny. It is fascinating to me that Nick Mullen is the least funny. Excuse me. Oh my God. Cut that. It is fascinating to me that Nick Mullen is the least famous of the three Cumtown boys. It's crazy. Any fan of the show will tell you that is the guy. Nick is the fucking king. He is insanely funny and creative. The mind of that man is really remarkable. Just goes to just take you places. He'll paint pictures. He'll do impressions. He'll fuck around. He's the best. But Stavi's super famous, obviously, and Adam Friedland is now in a Variety article. He's like on the cover of a magazine or some shit. And Nick Mullen is just depressively scrolling Twitter in his New York apartment, presumably. Interesting. Fascinating dynamic. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Adam Friedland show at all. At all. They did this thing when it was just Nick and Adam because they have like they have the show aspect of the thing, which is like the interviews, and they have the podcast. So I think they might have probably scrapped that idea, and it's just all one thing now. But when they didn't have a guest, they would just fuck around the two of them, Nick and Adam, and it was like Cumtown but shitty. Because there's cameras, which just cameras. I guess everyone's doing cameras now, but there is something so pure about Cumtown being cameraless. No visual element. Kind of really a moment in time. There's only very few podcasts do that or have done that. Certainly not this one. I need every gosh dang clip I can get, brother. But they had the cameras, and they also had fucking lavalier microphones, which is insane. It makes such a difference. It's hard to explain if you haven't seen both in action. But if you're holding a microphone, or if you got one in front of you like I do, it's just different. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a different feel. It's a different vibe. And if you got a thing clipped to your shirt, it's like you're in presentation mode or something. This is comedy mode. This is, hey, haha, here are my slides. It's weird. I think they ditched the lavs finally, the lavaliers, because they were really bad, really unfunny, just awkward. And again, it's like it's theoretically interesting. It's like, isn't it funny that we spent all this money on the set and that Adam Friedland is hosting a TV show? And I'm like, yeah, it is. But what else though? Like, do you have substance to the thing? Is it actually interesting? Generally not. But Nick is done. Nick is no longer part of the Adam Friedland show. He still gets a production credit in the credits because he co-created the thing. I wonder what he's doing now. Probably planning his imminent demise. It is so fascinating. I mean, that generally, or part of the reason that I'm so into, I think comedians are so interesting, and I hope to one day have a few of them on my podcast. But I am fascinated with the mind that is that dark, that talented, that funny, and that dark. Like, he hates himself. Okay, I'm putting words in his mouth, but my assessment of the situation is that he has struggled with depression forever, and he's this comedic genius who hates doing anything comedic. He hates stand-up. He barely does it. He does it exclusively to pay bills. From what those are his words, right? Watch Year of the Dragon, bro. You're like, come on. Why is this man not as big as Stavros Halkias? It's a different vibe, but it's like, I mean, it's so clever, it's so technical, and memorable bits. Billy Hitler, come on, dude. Billy Hitler is amazing. Ninja Turtles. Anyway, shouts out to the Cumtown boys. Shouts out to Adam Friedland, and shouts out to Nick Mullen. We wish you the best, my friend, my brother, my that's the eternal meme online. My best friend, Nick Mullen. Yeah. Also, I still like Fantano quite a bit. People hate that guy, but I like him a ton, actually, and I respect him very much. And I am impressed at the output. I'm impressed at the consistency. Impressed at the quality. I think he's the shit. And it's a tough thing to be a critic, right? So many people will get into the game and then leave the game when they realize that, like, you have to say mean things about people. Meaning, or especially when you get to be known, if you get to be popular. My beloved Joe List, one of my heroes, New York comedian, had a movie podcast with another comic named Ronan Hirschberg, who I've seen both of them live more than once. Love them both very much. My favorite podcast of all time. It's called Joe and Ronan Talk Movies. Shitty Zoom podcast, started during COVID, lasted for 2 or 3 years. They had like 40 or 60 something episodes. And then Joe quit because he's like, to do this show, I have to talk shit about people in the industry that I'm trying to be a part of. Right? You have to say mean things about people that are making movies. And making movies is very difficult, from what I understand. I do videography, and that's pretty difficult. Like, making a movie is extremely hard. And then if you have some asshole, some comedian for that, just like dismiss it via podcast in a humorous way, then I love it. But then the person that made the movie is sad, presumably. And the comedian that said the mean things won't work with that person ever again. Right. That was the thinking, and part of the reason that he quit the pod. Which makes sense, I guess, Also, but like, what are the popular movie podcasts? Are there any? I mean popular. I mean like poppin'. God bless the good brothers, the good boys that There Are Too Many Movies. I love them very much. But I'm talking like poppin', bro. Are there any? That's why I pivoted away. It seems too niche. Whereas Slop, Slop is much more broad. Slop is all-consuming. Anything can be slop. But mostly it's internet bullshit that I fill my head with, right? But anything can be slop. It's all... I don't know. It can't go a lot of directions, I feel like. Or a lot more directions than a movie podcast. Movies are pretty niche, especially now. But TikTok is everywhere, right? So, as I said in the past, I do foresee a potentially fruitful and fruity culture. Future for the show. So stick around, man. Don't leave until the miracle happens. Okay. All right. Have we covered that enough? We did 30 minutes on the fucking Adam Friedland show. Great, you know? Maybe that'll be our leading story for the episode. What's funny too is I record these shits and I don't know what the leading story or the thing I talk about the most is usually what the title is going to be, right? But I don't know what it's going to be before I record. Sometimes I do. Today I did not. I would like to give my genuine... Before I do that, please take a moment and leave a comment on this very video. This very podcast, if you are listening on Spotify, you have the ability to leave comments on the thing. And if you do that, Spotify will promote the podcast. Apparently it's like way more powerful than the YouTube comment. But if you're on YouTube, please leave a comment also. Do them both. YouTube, Spotify, leave a comment, please. Rate the show. 5 or 4 stars. One of the two. I whatever, 5 stars probably good, but don't you find that it's just fucking rate the show. You know, leave a comment, rate the show, do the thing. I have to say these words because these words, when I say the words, they do things. Things do them. People happen, things do. All right, I would like to give my genuine apologies. My heartfelt, sincere apologies to you, because I have to turn my camera over. Just a moment. And we're back. Oh, shit. And we're back. I would like to give my heartfelt and sincere apologies to the tuah girl. I think last episode, as a matter of fact, I know last episode that I said that she had fallen off and she was over with. I could not have been more wrong. Not only is the meme still breathing and alive, but she did a fucking panel at Vidcon. She did a live podcast at fucking Vidcon. Talk about funny on paper, ironically funny. That's her whole career. It is pretty fascinating. I discussed this last episode. However, it is interesting to build a sort of House of Cards situation on a meme, a joke, a ha-ha, a gag, a goof, a spwee, a two. I don't have any more words. It is, it can lead to fruitful career. However, but a lot of times you gotta have some merit in ya. You have to be smart enough to seize the moment, but you also have to have some gumption, some gust. And I hate to be the asshole that's not just playing along with the meme and being like, tuah is the funniest, most hilarious, and most engaging person around. Like that, it's fun to do for a bit, but not always, not forever, right? But it's funny enough to do that she got a panel at VidCon. tuah. And Whitney Cummings came on. Again, her first guest. So, she's back, man. Good for her. Good for tuah. It's not Sydney Welsh, it's something or other. Haley Welsh. Good for you, tuah. Shouts out to you. It is funny. It is funny. Who is more talented? tuah or Adam Friedland? Gun to your head, who would you rather listen to 4 times a week in 3.5-hour segments like Joe Rogan? If you were forced at gunpoint to listen to one of those two individuals, just shout into the void, similar to what I'm doing now, would you choose tuah or Adam Friedland? And then whoever you choose and whoever you endure for, let's call it 90 days, they are the next, they're the leftist Joe Rogan. They're the new, the new Jon Stewart or whatever the bullshit is. They earned that title. That's the genie's proposition. So who are you choosing, man? I'm curious. You gotta go Adam Friedland. You gotta go Adam Friedland. But still, like, that's kind of, they are a similar kind of, they're similar, right? Adam Friedland is at least done comedy. He is a stand-up comedian, right? That's a thing. That's a job. Haley Welsh is devoid of even that. tuah has no merit whatsoever, right? There's literally no ground to stand on. She's but a meme. Fascinating. How often does that happen? It cannot happen very often. I would love to do, perhaps I'll do some research eventually, and I'll do maybe even next week, and I'll be like, okay, here are some examples of memes that have created careers, long-lasting careers, right? Okay, one just came to mind, but it's a bit of a stretch. If you'll bear with me for a second. It's a bit of a stretch if you'll bear with me for a second. Lil Nas X kind of blew up. He was a bit of a meme. The Old Town Road thing. I think he just posted his song that he believed in a bunch, and it turns out he was this extremely talented person who had like 5 more hits in the back pocket. Does that count? He's in music. I'm sure that happens a lot in music where but that's just like getting your break. That's not what I'm talking about. Why did I even fucking bring that up? Dude, what the fuck am I doing? No, that doesn't count, dude. But yeah, leave a comment if you can think of another one. A meme that has transformed their, memery into a full-fledged career. It has to have happened more than once. I know for a fact it has, but let's hear it. Give me a comment. That's up to Haley Welsh. Can you imagine meeting tuah at the fucking at Vidcon? I was there to see Gus Johnson. I was there to see Drew Gooden, but tuah was there. Oh my god! But that's the panel you go to for the meme, for the joke, so you can tell people that you went to the tuah panel, and you can post about being on the tuah panel. But you're not there to see the real. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a bit. Her entire thing. It's not. I'm not even mad at it. It's just interesting, right? And I'm again relating it to Adam Friedland, like his whole shtick is a bit. All right, well, sloppers for a lovely look behind the curtain here. I got loud in the last segment. Boy, I raised my voice a bit, and then the microphone started buzzing right after that. So I'm still searching on a solution. Hoping on a prayer, wishing on a log that I'll be able to figure out why the frick it does that. But for now, we press onward. And also, we take the headphones off because it's too frustrating to listen to. And it makes me crazy, and I'll hopefully fix it in post. And with that, sloppers, I would like to talk about Gus Johnson. You guys remember Gus Johnson, right? Gus Johnson is a content creator, a YouTuber, a TikToker who is comedically inclined. He's not a comedian. He's not a stand-up. But he makes sketches, right? He's made 1 million of them. I guarantee you've seen a bunch. This is like probably 5 or 6 years ago was his heyday, pre-COVID. And he has what the kids call fallen off. By the way, I would like to preface this by saying I don't like being mean I'm just very interested in this particular story, this particular situation, because I used to be a really big fan of him, and then a thing happened, and now it's hard to watch, and the quality's decreased massively, and the views have decreased massively, and his relevance has decreased massively, which is interesting. So it is inherently mean what I'm saying, that he fell off, but he has. Let's be real, he fell off. But why? Let's think about let's talk about why perhaps that happened. So he was big, huge, making, multi-million view videos up until like 3 years ago. And what also happened 3 years ago? His podcast that he had with one Eddie Burback. Gus and Eddie was the name of the show. I was a huge fan of the pod. I listened to most of the episodes. Really enjoyed it. I thought they played off each other really well. They were both hilarious. I think they had great rapport, great chemistry. They were really good friends. And then there was some drama that happened involving Gus's then girlfriend, which I'm not even really familiar with. That's not really the point of the thing. The point of what I'm trying to get at is that this drama happened, and he was basically severed. I'm genuinely very curious what happened, what he did, because he came through with like an apology video. This is all related to his girlfriend's. I don't remember her name. It kind of just feels shitty to just refer to a lady with her own name and voice and situation as so-and-so's girlfriend. But I don't remember her name. And I didn't do research for this because I don't do a whole lot of research for this podcast. It's more of a stream of consciousness type situation, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, drama happens with girl, and then Gus is basically excommunicado from Eddie. The podcast ends. Eddie puts out he just talks about it on stream one time of like, yeah, for the record, the podcast isn't coming back. I feel betrayed. I feel hurt. Whatever. He basically did a shitty thing, a really awful thing. And I know he did an awful thing. I had no idea what he did. But I do know that all the people he used to collaborate with no longer touch him with a 10-foot pole. 0 of the people. Everyone still collaborates with Eddie. Eddie is very collaborated with the Nakey Jakeys and the Drew Goodens and the Danny Gonzalez's of the world. Other, like, great YouTubers, right? That whole pack, they still hang out with Eddie a lot. No one is collaborating with old Gussie boy. So I'm assuming that it was some fuck shit. Whatever he did was some fuck shit, right? There is an interesting complication in here in which Gus has a younger brother named Sven, who is hilarious and extremely marketed and collaborated with. He is he's on the Cold Ones team. What's it called? Cool Guys Online. Great, hilarious sketch group that is also just entirely to sell shirts, but they do it very well. It's a smart idea to hire 4 funny comedic YouTubers and have them make sketches wearing your shirts. That's the idea. And it's not like they're not even ads, they're sketches. They're just wearing the clothing that they want you to buy. Very smart idea, and very successful. Go to their Instagram and TikToks. Like they are popping the fuck off. But Sven is Gus's little brother, and you see Gus in some recent videos, and he's wearing like the cool shirts, and it's like, oh no, man, like. I have to imagine it's awkward to be friends with Sven, who's very successful and popping right now, whose older brother has the same job and fell the fuck off. And is like kind of not not seen as cool. I hesitate to say cool. This all sounds so mean what I'm saying. But it's like a bad look, right? It's like the only guy that's collaborating with Gus Johnson is Ian, what's his name? Asian guy? Ian Kung, who's pretty funny, but I don't see him very often. But he's the only person who I see collaborating with Gus. No one else is collaborating with Gus Johnson. And I think I have just found an opportunity to launch this podcast into the stratosphere. Collaborate with the washed up, problematic Gus Johnson. It's so mean that I'm saying these things. Yeah, I don't want to, whatever. God love you, Gus Johnson. I wish you the best. It's interesting. I'm honestly just curious from a drama perspective what happened. And I watched his apology video, which was very effective. It got me on his side. I gave it a like. I appreciated it. But the proof is in the pudding. And the pudding is that no one hangs out with this guy anymore. So, I don't know, man. It's interesting, right? It's interesting. Do you guys have an opinion? Did you used to watch Gus? Do you still watch Gus? I think his new content, ever since this happened, by the way, it just isn't great. It's just not great, brother. And he kind of does. I'm just looking at his page now, which perhaps, I think if I'm recording on OBS, I will perhaps put this in. But the clickbait, a lot of the clickbait is, by the way, I have no problem with clickbait whatsoever. I will be clickbaiting this very episode that you're watching. The clickbait is very, hey, look at me, I'm not doing well, right? I'm ruined, things are really bad, this is a big problem. Didn't think I'd have this talk. These are the ones that get me. I click on them because I want to see him talk about the situation, but he's not going to do it. Why would he? It's been 3 years. It is interesting, though. Yeah, see, I still watch every once in a while. I'll watch a video. I'll watch a little bit of it, and I'll go, ugh. It just doesn't hit, brother. I think he needs to massively switch up the formula, because these short sketches, it's just, like, uncomfortable. It's just, they're not doing numbers like they used to, which, by the way, they are still doing very well. 200, 300,000 views. But they're not doing the millions that they used to. And I don't see him getting shared around. He's just not in the cultural zeitgeist like he used to be. Right? How's the buzz? It's fixed. I fixed it. It actually does sound kind of gone. It's gone? It's actually gone. Bruh. I don't know. I don't know. Do not have any idea. But anyway, God love you, Gus. I think what you should do, my friend, is go back to the long form stuff. He would do these desk videos, commentary videos. He's very good at these, and he doesn't do it very often. Dude, the Office one, I remember this video still. The Office has some strange new projects. Gus Johnson, this was posted a long time ago. 4 years ago. It is great. Really, really interesting. Really insightful. I think this lane of the commentary video is better for you, Gus, because you can sort of sink your teeth into a thing, into a topic, regardless of who's talking. You just got to do the Ray William Johnson thing, where Ray William Johnson used to be a washed up asshole, and then he started posting just stories on TikTok, and now he's popping again. He's back using AI slop images as eye candy while he reads you a story, or he does they're well researched. Like, they just tell you the whole story. I just watched the one about Dane Cook and getting stolen from. That's what you got to do, man. Because if the content is interesting, then it doesn't matter who's delivering the thing. It's kind of like the opposite of Adam Friedland or Hawk Tuah. right? Hawk Tuah and Adam Friedland, it's funny because it's them doing the thing, but the thing has no merit. And in your case, it's mean to say this, but you're hurting for merit at the moment, but your content could be really great. And right now, both things are lacking. This is very mean. I really need to emphasize that I do not like, then why are you saying it, you dick? Good point. I don't have to be saying any of this. But why did this even come up? This struck a nerve. Fuck you, nerd. But dude, he's got 643, 900 videos he's posted. He's been doing this for a long time. And a lot of these sketches are really good. Man. The Spotify one's an absolute classic. Cat at 3 a.m. JK Rowley, like a lot of these are really great. And he's not making this level of quality anymore. Let's just say it like it is, bro. I wouldn't say this if I didn't care about you. I do care about you. I miss you, Gus Johnson. I miss when you were making good stuff. And that it wasn't like uncomfortable to watch your videos. The vibes are off is all I'm saying. And I'm sure you're depressed. I'm sure that you're hurt and that your life has never been the same since the incident. But you got to pivot, bro. You got to pivot because what you're doing now is not it. Go back to the long form stuff. Oh, dude, if you just gave like an hour long tell all, that would be like, it would be, you have to like, you'd be experiencing ego death, telling the internet exactly what happened and how you fucked everyone over. But that could be, dude, that could be really big. That could be huge for you. Think about that, dude. That'd be huge. But you have to like actually admit to everything you did. And it's probably too fucked up to admit to, TBH. That's my guess. But how much worse could it possibly be? Like this steady decline of yours? Like, is this what you want to be doing for the rest of time? Is just steadily declining into irrelevance? It's pretty brutal. You got to pivot. You got to pivot. You got to stop. Don't wear the cool shirt stuff in your videos. It's no good. Sorry, man. It's just doesn't make you feel happy. It makes you feel sad. And you don't want that. You want people to be uplifted by you. This is very mean. But you know what? It's okay. Sometimes tough love is necessary, I guess. I don't know. I'm in no position to say anything to this man. I'm in no position to do anything at all. I'm just talking out of my ass because that's where my best ideas come from. Straight out of my anus. Gus Johnson, God love you. I'm sorry I said mean things about you, but it's the truth, brother. Look at this man. He was so full of hope. And now, disappointed with life. Got into it really with one unfortunate person. 30 years old. Hurting. Sven Johnson, killing it. Little brother. Oof, it's got to be brutal to see your little brother killing it. Oof. Doing the same job you're doing and better? Fuck, that sucks, dude. Genuinely, I feel for you. And he's hot, too. He's hot, too. Fuck, he's hot, too. Fuck. Or I guess you've known he's hot for you like he's been like, he's been the hot brother your entire life, but he's hot and talented and funny and he does the same job as you better? Fuck. Dang it. Yeah. Good looking cat, that Sven Johnson. All right. Anyway, God love you, Gus. And I wish you the best, genuinely. Sorry if this is too mean. Okay. Onward. Ethan Klein sued some people. All right, pretty successful like to dislike ratio here. Ethan is suing 3 creators. And I figured he would be doing some cringe shit like suing them for defamation, or I can never remember the thing. It's libel and the other one. Slander. Slander is talk, libel is written. Look at me, bro. I got it. But I figured he'd be doing some cringe shit like that, which he was threatening to do with Guy, that one guy, who, Noah Samson, which I pray that he doesn't do. That shit is cringe. That shit is cringe, bro. You're a YouTuber. You drink the haterade all day. You spew hatred on your podcast all the time. You have to be able to take some punches, right? However, this lawsuit I am all for. This is purely about copyright infringement, which is his bread and butter. If you're unaware, him and his wife Ela were both successfully the arbiters, or they were sued by some asshole years ago, like 2017, for using that guy's video in their video. But it was a commentary video. They played some of the guy's video and then talked about it and played some more and talked about it and right? And then winning that case actually created precedent, case law, for copyright protection for YouTubers in the future. So it was like it was an arduous multi-year nightmare process that resulted in a W for the Kleins and a W for the internet, and they were heroes back then. They were heroes back then. Man, it sucks to see them fall. It sucks to, anyway, but I'm still a fan. I still like them very much. My point is this. Here they are again, suing. They're on the other side of the aisle, and they're suing 3 Twitch streamers for watching the Hassan content nuke and not adding any commentary at all. Like, they would just sit there and watch the thing and not add anything to them. Not fair use at all. It's just them watching the shit on stream. And also, a big aspect of this and why it is actually right for a suit is that they verbally state that to avoid giving him viewership / money, you should come watch it with me on my stream. That way I'll get money. So they actually just say that out loud to the camera, and it's like, that's very illegal. And that method, or that genre of Twitch streamer, is a plague, right? That shit is no good. You don't want that. People just chair streaming. He talks about it in the video, but Hassan is famous for it, of like watching a video and then oh shit, I gotta go take a piss, chat. Well, I'll just leave this video playing for the next 5 to 10 minutes. I gotta go make some food. I'll be back. Here, you guys can watch this. That is objectively theft, right? And then the worst part that these Twitch streamers will do, the worst thing that they'll do, is rip the VOD, just cut the VOD into segments and upload it on their channel. So it's like Hassan reacts to popular YouTube video. Asmongold reacts to the new summoning salt. Spoilers, it's the same as the old summoning salt and the one before that and the one before that. But yeah, they'll upload it and monetize it on their channel. And the level of reaction is extremely minimal. It's bullshit. They go, wow. Oh shit. Damn. That's kind of that's kind of what we're dealing with here. And so Ethan Klein is willing to sue these creators, right? Become the villain that he's already been dancing with. He's been dancing with becoming like the full fucking Joker villain for quite some time, and a lot of the internet already thinks of him that way. He has, in terms of good graces for the internet, massively fallen off a cliff. Him and Ela. Mostly it's the Israel thing. But that's, yeah, the Teddy Fresh has taken a huge hit. I see just lots of negative sentiment about them online. I'm still a fan. It just sucks when people are talking shit about a thing you like. But anyway, I'm curious about this lawsuit. I think it's interesting. I think this has actual merit, where the libelous, slanderous thing. Does not. I think that shit is cringe. Don't do that. But do this, because these guys are annoying and they suck and they're stealing content, which is no good. It is weird. Like I follow Ethan on Instagram, and his stories are just brutal. I can't do it. It's like he just exists in a vacuum sealed hate chamber. Every day he's just posting people, things that people have sent him about people he doesn't like, and he just sits. He gets up in the morning and he hates people online, and then he takes care of his kids and he hates people online, and he does the show, and some of that hate comes into the show. A lot of the show is still just bullshitting and goofs and gaffs, as they say, but 100% of its Instagram output is negatively slanted, hateful. These people suck. Look at them sucking. These people suck. Look at them sucking. This guy sucks. Look at him suck. And it just can't be good for your brain, bro. You gotta get off the sauce. You gotta let go. You gotta get off Instagram. You've already gotten off Twitter. That was a long time ago because it was too bad for your mental health. Well, this cannot be any better. It just can't. I don't, especially with all the negative sentiment about you and Hila. Release, let go. That is the answer. Doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, which is that's what he does. You don't beat. It's hard to beat this man in an online arena. But he's being beat. And what the difference is, like, there used to be a few key figures that were very, anti-Ethan, and it now seems to be like a widespread sort of. That's the kind of the cultural, like, oh yeah, these guys suck, Ethan and Hila, which again is just it's a bummer. I'm a fan. I've liked them forever. I'm a big fan of Teddy Fresh, and I sometimes listen to the podcast. Big inspiration for this very show, as a matter of fact. Fucked. I was going to try to turn off an alarm, but I couldn't think of it and talk at the same time, so we're just going to have an alarm go off in 5 minutes. Let's count down, shall we? It's actually 6 minutes from now. Yeah, so, I don't know, shouts out to Ethan Klein. Please get off of Instagram, dude. Stop, just get off of Reddit. It's brutal. It's becoming hard to defend. And, you go watch a little piece of the show, especially the beginnings. They're just like, they're chill, they're light. They're talking about the bullshitty drama, like just like I'm doing, of the week or of the day, because they do 4 episodes a fucking week. My God, they're 3.5 hours long. My God, who has the time? I don't know, but they're killing it still. I mean, they're doing very well. So I have no further. It's just honestly, it's just kind of a bummer to watch the culture shift against the Kleins, because I'm a fan and I have a ton of Teddy Fresh in my closet. And I don't give a fuck. I think it's cool. I like the brand. I like them. So go fuck yourself. Let's talk about what I've been watching, because I have a couple of freaking excellent entries to discuss. One of which I finally got around to Adolescence on Netflix. This is the show that everyone was very into several months ago. It's about the kid who allegedly did or did not murder a classmate. And it's 4 episodes, and each episode is shot in one continuous take. It is wildly, insanely impressive. I couldn't wrap my head around it after I watched one. It was actually 1.5 midway through season 2 or episode 2. I was like, how the is there trickery? Is there bullshittery happening? Are there hidden cuts here? And I pulled up a behind the scenes thing. I was like, oh no, they just rehearsed the fuck out of it. They spent weeks in rehearsal, and technical directors and like, there's camera operators handing it to the other camera operator who's there, and it's Stephen Graham. Stephen Merchant is the tall guy. Stephen Graham, the short guy, is the co-creator and the dad, the father of the show, the son. And he described it in a behind the scenes thing as like a swan gliding smoothly across the water, but right underneath the water, her legs are going crazy. That is a perfect analogy. I do not know how to express to you how impressive the one-shot gimmick is. You really just have to see it for yourself. Episode 3 specifically is fucking... Well, I mean, episode 1 is I don't know. Maybe episode 2 is the most technically impressive. Like, they go all the way through a school and then down the road, and then they fucking they fly. I was like, is the camera flying right now? How do they do that without cutting? And it's behind the scene. They have this whole rig for drone that the guy's just carrying, waiting, and they just click it on, and then the drone flies off. It's crazy. Really, really remarkable. Really impressive. So I mean, you gotta get to just gawk at it from a technical standpoint, but then also everything else is really good. The story's fantastic. The acting is unbelievable. This kid they got, Owen Cooper, to play our main boy, has literally never been in anything else. This is his first acting role, and he's asked to remember a fucking hour of dialogue. I cannot express to you. I don't know. I'm sure you can probably imagine that that's very difficult to do, and do the emotion and all of the rest that comes with it. He's really the centerpiece of the first and the third episode, and then like you gotta learn 2 hours of lines. Fuck, he's 13, and he kills it, man. Episode 3 is one of the best episodes of TV I've seen in quite some time. It's really amazing. It's like a stage play. Almost all of it takes place in one room, and it's about you can honestly just watch the third episode. You don't think you even super need the rest of it. Episode 3 is really incredible. It's just a psychologist trying to evaluate this kid who's been accused of murder and figure out if he is of sound mind and body to be tried for first-degree capital murder. By the way, do you guys know the other degrees? I think it has to do with intent. Or like crime of passion, I think is a second degree. And manslaughter is fourth, I think. There's third-degree murder, and there's fourth, I think, is like manslaughter, which is a joke. It's like nothing, bro. Right? Mm-mm. Yes. Who is counting? I forgot about that, honestly. But dude, I highly recommend the show. Episode 3 is fantastic. It's that's the one that sticks in my brain, but the whole thing's really great. I mean, episode 4 is also amazing. I think the ending of the whole show is fucking gut-wrenching and incredible and beautiful and cathartic and sad and all the adjectives. I highly recommend the show. And you should watch it if you missed it. It's 4 episodes, bro. It's 4 episodes. Yeah, I don't even want to tell you anything about it if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the way the first episode ends is fucking crazy. Anyway, I don't want to spoil anything, but check it out, dude. Yeah. Oh, dude, shouts out to this lady on Letterboxd. 3rd episode is one of the most astonishing hours of television I've ever seen in my life. Period. Agreed. All right, and shouts out to Owen Cooper, this child who destroyed it. He absolutely killed it. Oh, he got cast in the fucking new... Yep. Good for him, dude. He got cast in the new Emerald Fennell movie. She was the one that did Saltburn, which sucked. And Promising Young Woman, which also sucked. I've heard it's bad. I haven't seen it. Half a star. Saltburn was really not good. But it was pretty. It was very well shot, but there was no substance there. Anyway, what the hell are we talking about? Who gives a shit about this kid? Anyway, he's got a bright future ahead of him. I am very happy with his performance. I rewatched Brokeback Mountain, brother. Brokeback Mountain. All right. So here's the thing. I actually met another gay man who is older than me, but very sweet and nice, and wanted to hang out. This is a totally platonic gay friendship. And we were like, we should go see a movie together on a platonic mandate. And I said, great. And what's playing today? Brokeback Mountain. So two gays went to see Brokeback. You know, very on the nose for us to do, but the movie's fucking beautiful. It's sad that it kind of got memed on. It kind of got disregarded. It's the gay cowboy movie. Everyone just knows it as that. And meanwhile, it's one of the most heart-wrenching stories about never accepting who you are and living a lie, refusing to seek out love and just turning it away at every opportunity because you're ashamed of yourself. Ugh. It's fucking really beautiful. And not to mention just actually aesthetically beautiful. They're sheep farmers. And so you get these just incredible shots of fucking sheep being herded and them on horseback. And then them butt fucking, which is really cool too. I gotta tell you, the butt fucking thing, like... Jake Gyllenhaal has a bussy full of beans, and Heath Ledger just gets all up in there. And there is no... He raw dogs, there's nothing... raw dogging, bussy full of beans, in the mountains, no showers to be found in miles. Questionable, is all I'm saying. And unrealistic. That's not really how gays do it, typically. Anyway, but that's like the one thing that's a little questionable. The rest of the movie is fantastic. And it's also the only sex scene. You gotta have one, I guess. But this came out in 2005. It seems so ahead of its time. It lost Best Picture to Crash. Infamously. Considered the worst Best Picture win of all time. This movie has the sauce, brother. It's fantastic. I highly encourage you to watch it. Even as a straight, I think you will appreciate it. It's beautiful. It's super, super fucking sad. And yeah, it's been said a million times, but I think just the fact that it's called Brokeback Mountain is a problem. And hard for people to get past. I brought up the comedian Ron Hirschberg earlier, who has a joke about this. Like, could have just called it, like, it sucks that it's the name of the thing is really similar to gay sex. Brokeback, bro. Could have just called it Fuck Me in the Ass Ridge. Or Come in My Mouth Mountain. That was my butchered. Yeah. Anyway, I agree. I agree with that sentiment. It's an unfortunate name, but it's a great movie. I love it, and it's fucking beautiful. I've had the theme song stuck in my head since I watched it. I will play 2 seconds of it right now. Oh my god! I gotta talk over it. It'll get claimed. Wow, that was beautiful, wasn't it? All right. I rewatched 28 Days Later and then 28 Weeks Later. I have allegedly seen 28 Weeks before. I didn't remember a fucking thing about it. I did remember quite a bit of 28 Days Later. I love this movie. It's fantastic. I think it is freaking really one of the best zombie movies. Maybe no, it's not as good as some of the Romero ones, but really remarkable. I don't know how they pulled off some of the stuff. The empty city shots are crazy. And it seems like a scrappy low budget movie because they used such absolutely dog shit cameras. Famously really shitty cameras, which they made an ode to with the new one, which is in theaters right now. I'll be seeing it this week. They shot the new one on an iPhone as a tip of the cap to this one, because they famously, like, we watched the Blu-ray, and it looks like, you know, it's grimy, it's shitty, it's shot digitally, and it shows. It shows, it like, does not look very good. And it's impossible to upscale past that point, from what I understand. Like, the Blu-ray is the highest quality we will ever get, and the Blu-rays might as well be a DVD. Like, it doesn't, it looks like shit. But that's just the grain of the thing. The actual shot composition, cinematography, it's all excellent. Aces. Danny Boyle has the freaking sauce, which we already knew, bro. You not seen Trainspotting? Go watch Trainspotting, you fucker. Oh yeah, you did yesterday. Oh god, I haven't seen that. It's probably good. Maybe it's good. 127 hours. I don't remember that much. I'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it now. There's someone I follow on Letterboxd now called 127 Hours Girl. I highly recommend that you follow her. She is, in her own words, probably watching 127 hours. And she's autistic. She's a she-they. She watches other movies, but she has seen 127 hours. Let's see how many times. Diary. 270 times. At least since she's had a Letterboxd. That's a lot of times. She said she's about to see it for the 127th. Yeah, 3 more watches until the 127th watch of the year. Who wrote that? What asshole wrote that? For the audio listeners, I asked if she'd seen the movie 127 Hours in her comments. Yeah, strange movie to fall in love with. Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, follow this, because she watches it like every day. It's fascinating. She always writes a review. All right, anyway. 28 Days Later is fantastic. It's no 127 hours, but it's pretty good. Then we watched 28 Weeks Later, which I had allegedly seen. I thought we watched... So you're me, right? And you're me, and you're watching this movie, and you're like, what the fuck? This is pretty fucking bad. I was under the impression that Danny Boyle directed this as well, and it was the same creative team. They had Alex Garland and everyone for this sequel. None of that is true. 0 people involved with the first one were involved behind the camera for this one. It is directed by some asshole who has never made a good movie in his life. Written by some other asshole, or actually a team of assholes. Who wrote this? Yeah, a team of people. It's really remarkably bad. It is so poorly written. It's like poorly shot, poorly written. Like it was so stark the difference that I halfway through the movie I was like, oh my god, what the fuck happened to Danny Boyle? And I looked it up. I was like, oh, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Thank God. I thought he had fallen off really, really hard. But it's just some other hack. It's just some horrible hack. Why is this movie bad, though? Well, there's not enough Jeremy Renner. I wish there was just twice as much Jeremy Renner. I wish that the dad who gets bitten at the beginning and becomes like the main zombie, I wish that he was in it more. I think it's really cool to keep calling back to a zombie and have him like somehow follow his kids around and try to like a fucking vamp, like a Friday the 13th, like Jason. He just globetrots with his children and somehow knows where they're at. And I think it's really cool that he's like the leader of the zombies. I think it's awesome. And that he's like intelligent somehow. It doesn't make any sense at all. I like how completely incompetent 100% of the army is, and when the outbreak happens, how fast everything goes to absolute shit. If you're catching any of this sarcasm, I don't like any of those things. I think they're fucking stupid. Really, really, really dumb. Yeah, it's just awful character decisions. The children decide to go out of the fucking wall where they're safe. Just they have an 80-yard thing where they're like, "Do you really think we should go and not tell Dad?" Yeah, fuck him. He won't know. We'll be back before we know it. And you're like, uh-oh, that's stupid. And that's like one of the straws. That's when you realize that you're dealing with a camel here, and you're just waiting for one more piece of straw to fucking break the back. You're waiting for a shattered camel back, and then that happens very quickly. And about an hour into the movie, you're like, uh-oh, this is bad. And then you're waiting to get through it. It starts pretty promising, but it gets real bad real fast. So this movie sucks ass. My brother told me that he enjoys it just as much as the first one, or even more so. And I've never really felt less inclined to believe him in any opinion of his ever again. You know? I think he has expended all of his goodwill with his opinions at this point. And I will henceforth just take the opposite side of whatever he spews out of his face. No. Movie sucks ass. Can't wait to see the new one, though. Looking forward to it. Oh, and that's a fucking strobe light. I forgot about that. Ugh. Can we stop with the strobe lights in the movies, bro? It gives me a headache. I don't know if I'm epileptic or retarded or whatever, but it hurts. Please stop doing that. I also saw this magician on Netflix named Justin Wilman. The special is called Magic Lover. It is very impressive, but he is very, very unfunny. And he tries to be a comedian. And I'm like, just be a magician, bro. Just be a magician. You don't need the jokes. You don't need the crowd work. Just do your sorcery, your dark arts, and spare us the awful crowd work and the awful jokes. But he won't do it. He won't do it. Look at his fucking stupid face. He seems like a nice enough guy. The hairpiece is a problem, or it's bad implants. It's one of the two. I think it's a hairpiece, but yeah, very, very impressive magic stuff that makes your jaw drop, which is cool. But he's not funny, and you can't have it both ways, bro. You got to just pick a lane. Has there ever been a magician that's legitimately funny? I actually don't know the answer to that. There has to have been at least one. Was Chris Angel a gut buster, like a ha ha ha, a ha ha ha? Probably not. I think if you choose if you choose magic, you kind of leave comedy in the dust. They perform in the same places because they're both like nightlife entertainment. But just be a magician, dude. Be Penn and Teller. Be very straight down the barrel. The occasional family friendly ha 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 joke, but it's 90% the act. This is like, it's like an uncomfortable percentage. It's like 60% jokes, 40% material. Material meaning magic. And that is not a high enough percentage, my friend. You ain't got the sauce like that, dude. Or maybe he does, but he's just doing very well. He's very successful. Whatever. Good for him. Interesting enough thing. I don't know. It's fine. Wouldn't recommend it super hard. It's impressive. If you like magic, you should check it out. If you're a magic lover, you should check it out. It's called Magic Lover. You should check it out. Check it out, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm going to say adieu to you later. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Please leave a comment or a like or both. I would very much appreciate it if you did that. And Sloppers, thank you for listening. Genuinely, I really appreciate you. I will see you next week for episode 13. There will perhaps be more uplifting slop to talk about and not such mean chicanery What do we talk about this week, though? Wait, let's not brush over what we've discussed. So much has been discussed on this very podcast of ours. You know what I'm saying? Fantano on the Adam Friedland show. Remember that? That was fun. We talked about Gus Johnson. Remember that? That was fun. We talked about tuah at Vidcon. That was less interesting, but still there. And I think that's it. Oh, and H3. H3 being, it's a pretty negatively slanted episode. You know what? I'm going to put the haterade down for next step. We're going to have just a good vibes only episode because nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing is bad happening in the world right now. As a matter of fact, the United States of America is out of conflict with the Middle East, which is exciting. It's good to be out of conflict with a place. What's that? What's that? Oh, we're in conflict. Oh dear. With that, Sloppers, thank you for listening. God bless the Slop Nation. I'll see you next week.